Hey, what's up all? Geoff back with another lesson. Today we are looking at Steve Gadd. So Steve Gadd is very into linear type motions. One of the things that Steve Gadd does that a lot of other drummers don't maybe do as much of is he uses his hi-hat in linear patterns. So if I show you a basic, obvious linear pattern, like a linear 3, right hand, left hand, right foot, most drummers would do this. One of the things that Steve Gadd would do is he'd do the same thing. He'd substitute his bass drum for his hi-hat, which would mean he'd go like maybe right, left, hi-hat, right, left, hi-hat. Now it doesn't work so well on the toms because the hi-hat's so quiet, but it works really well when you've got the hi-hat involved. So I'll show you now. Okay, a couple of examples there. One of those was quite a bad example actually. So one of the things that you have to do when you do this is you've got to keep the hi-hat closed long enough so you get the chick sound. You don't really want the open sound. So this is the chick sound. This is the one I don't want. So I've got to lift my foot a little bit later than normal. So step 1 is sit in practice linear 3s doing that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the actual feel then. So there's another skill set that Steve Gadd does a lot of, which is something called inverted double stroke, so inverted roll. So if you think about a roll, we normally got 2 rights and 2 lefts, yeah? So we got like mummy, daddy, mummy, daddy. Well, one of the things that some drummers do is rather than starting with a 2 at the start, they start with just a 1 at the start. So then we get, rather than 2 and 2, we get 1 and 2, and then the other one of these will be at the end and 2. So we basically get this pattern. If I play the rights here, my lefts here, mummy, daddy would be this. Whereas the inverted one will be this. So we can loosely get this kind of heartbeat samba pattern, boom, 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 with the right hand like this. So step 2, go practice that. Maybe play the left real quiet. If you can, put a pulse with it, metronome or maybe a bass drum. And then maybe double up the right hand with the bass drum. Okay, so we start to take that pattern now then. All we're going to do is we're going to do, how many notes? It's 9 notes. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so it ends up with double right. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Then put it on the hi-hat. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And then what we're going to do is the last 2 notes, we're going to delete those. So where I hit that tom, instead we're going to put 2 bass drums there. 2, 3, 4. And there's one little part left now then. So what we do now is we take out the second note, that left hand there, and we replace it with a hi-hat. So now we get, which is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's the pattern. So as I mentioned at the start of the lesson about keeping the hi-hat closed, in this one obviously you don't because it's going right hand and straight to the left. So this one we've got that little open and close pattern going on, right? Okay, timing-wise then, we're doing 30-second notes. Now, as I mentioned in my previous lessons, I don't like counting 30 seconds with some kind of special method. All I do is I double them up as if they're two lots of 16th notes. So I count 1 E under, 2 E under, 3 E under, 4 E under, 1 E under, 2 E under, 3 E under, 4 E under, and that adds up to 32. So with this particular pattern, if I play the pattern around the drums, so you can hear the tune first of all, we'd get something like this. One E under, 2 E under, 3, 4 E under, 1 E under, 2, 3 E under, 4 E under, out. 1 E under, 2 E under, 3, 4 E under, 1 E under, 2, 3 E under, 4 E under, out. Here we go. 1 E under, 2 E under, 3, 4 E under, 1 E under, 2, 3 E under, 4 E under, out. For me, the hardest thing there is get double bass drum at the end, back to the start, because you've got to get so used to doing one with your foot, it's hard to get the double. Okay, so that's the pattern, right? That's the kind of the way that he plays it in context. However, there's a big take from today's lesson. The big take really is the inverted double stroke roll, because that's just a variation that he's figured out from a double stroke roll. There's lots of other variations you could go away and do. But we could just take the double stroke roll. It sounds pretty cool on its own. If I just take that same pattern, right hand and left hand, so I get 1 E under, 2 E under, 3, 4 E under, 1 E under, 2, 3 E under, 4 E under, 1, and put it around the kit. Or I could just play it in its entirety. That's quite awkward to come out of that double, right? So what I might do then is just change the end. Maybe. Or I can obviously team it up with other things, linear, other rudiments, anything you can think of. So, Steve Gadd, there's no name for that particular pattern. It's just a lick that I've seen him do a lot of times on drum clinics particularly. But the inverted double stroke roll is a kind of more official rudiment. It's not one of the 40, but for me it's one that's used a lot. So go away, practice that. Hopefully you've got a bit out of today's lesson. If there's anything you'd really like me to look at, then please leave me some comments. If you're enjoying these lessons, please let me know. If you absolutely hate them, please let me know. Please like, please subscribe, hit that little bell if you're watching on YouTube. And I'll see you all again next time. See you soon.